Think Caterham and what springs to mind. For many, it'll be fun to drive, lightweight, two-seater, open-top driving with exposed headlights and wheels. But it also evokes images of blasting down a country lane on a hot sunny day or hooning around a circuit on a track day. But times are a-changing, and now Caterham is entering the EV market with a sports coupe, the likes of which the brand has never seen before. It's called the Project V, and we've been invited to a studio just outside Oxford to have a look around and see what it's all about. Now, it's safe to say that Caterham has taken a completely different design direction with the Project V over the 7. After all, the 7 design hasn't radically changed for over 70 years, but it still has that brand DNA of being lightweight and fun to drive. There's no question that this is an eye-catching design with flowing lines and minimal overhangs, and doesn't look too dissimilar to chief designer Anthony Gianarelli's last creation of the Design 1. What do you think of the styling though? Would you pick this over the likes of an Alpine A110 or a Porsche Cayman? Let us know in the comments section below. And for anyone wondering whether an engined version will be on the cards, well, I'm afraid not. The Project V has been designed from the ground up as a pure EV. Of course, there'll be plenty of options available, including a variety of colours and carbon fibre too. And of course, with it being an EV, there'll be even more scope further down the line to offer more powerful and more hardcore versions. Now, as we mentioned, this is a very different proposition to Caterhams that we've seen in the past. It's very modern and very fresh, but it really shouts its sporty credentials. Just look at some of the aero down by the wheels there, but there are still some elements that hint towards some of the older Caterhams like 7. Have a look at the grille. It's just like an elongated version of the one that you'd find on the two-seater open top. Size-wise, it's roughly the same as an A110, slightly smaller than a Boxster, but it does look like a sports car, which is obviously what it's all about. So what's great is, even though this one is a 2+1, the production version is likely to be a 2+2. So there is, even though you've got that sloping roof at the back, you get 2 people in the rear seats as well. And then around the back, just have a look at these lights. They're inspired from the old Lotus Elan. So there's that really nice blend of old and new. It's just a beautiful, beautiful car. Inside, it's a continuation of the Caterham ethos of simplicity. But something that's quite rare to Caterhams is it's so beautifully put together in here. Anyone who's driven a normal Caterham 7 will know that they can be a little bit rattly, and especially if you're driving them at pace. But in here, you've got lots of great materials and comfy seats, and it's all really nicely put together. You can really see yourself doing quite a few miles in this car very comfortably. Again, you've got that blend of modern technology, so all the dials, whereas they do hint back to some of the older cars, they're all digital. So in front of the driver, you've got your speed and your power and boost, and then you've got in the middle your driver mode, a clock, and your range. And then underneath that, you've got another screen which pairs with Apple CarPlay, and then you've got all your toggles depending on your driver modes and your windows and your air conditioning. Overall, this is a really comfortable place to be. And the other thing that's really important to mention is that the batteries are placed directly under the driver's feet and also behind the passenger seats. So when you get in the car, you end up sitting with your feet slightly raised. Now that's a trait of some of the Caterham 7s, but you also get that real sense of performance car driving. You know, it's almost like you're in a racing car with your feet slightly higher up. But the visibility is all good, and as I say, the cabin materials are absolute first rate. Now, as I said before, this is a 2+1, but the finished production model is likely to have 2 seats in the back. And yeah, you wouldn't want any more than 2 kids in the back. Any adults would struggle for long journeys. There isn't a huge amount of space for legs or for headroom. But up front, yeah, you won't have any problems at all. They do say you can fit a couple of golf clubs in the back though, so handy if you're going for a game. Okay, so let's talk about the numbers of this car. After all, it is a sports car and there are a lot of numbers to deal with this car. So there's an electric battery that sits over the rear axle that pumps out 268 brake horsepower. That means 0 to 60 of 4.3 seconds and a top speed of 143 miles per hour. It has a 55 kilowatt hour battery, which should make it good for just under 250 miles, depending of course on on how you drive it. And if you use a 150 kilowatt charger, it should top up from 20 to 80% in as little as 15 minutes, which is pretty impressive. So there you have it then, the Caterham Project V. Now this is a one-of-a-kind concept, but we have been told that the final production version will look very, very similar to this. Prices will start at around £80,000 when it goes on sale early in 2026. Thanks for watching this preview of the Caterham Project V. What do you think? Would you go for an electric sports car, or would you go for a more traditional combustion engine instead? Let us know in the comments section below. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time we upload a new video.